babies. Happy Friday. I want to offer you a thought, right? Until all are one, right? As above, so below, however you want to see it. Until all are one. I've been thinking a lot because I felt a little tinge, right? As somebody that does like ego and shadow work, and when most of my work with people, just my clients and stuff, revolves around identity. Who are you? Like, is this you, right? And going through and really getting people back to themselves, right? Or really guiding people back to where they exist. A lot of these Super Bowl commercials where they're talking about, they have cannibalistic themes, they have, like, oh, I wasn't invited to the island, and da-da-da, being salty and stuff like that. What's happening is they're making you question, would I, and this is good, right? I'm just listen, hear me out. They're making you question, would I have done the same? Like, if I was invited to Epstein's Island, would I have gone? Good question, right? Only you know the answer to that, right? Each of us has our own individual answer. Some of us it's a no, some of us it's a fuck no, some of those is a, like yes, and I would, but it's important to understand, because when people talk about desensitizing media, things like, themes of cannibalism and KFC and eating the Pringle Man and da-da-da-da, it's to see how comfortable you are with it, right? I made a video before where I talked about whatever they fucking call it, the rule where they're like, they have to announce what they're doing first. So they do it in ads and media and da-da-da-da, and that's how they're able to get away with it. The outrage creates barriers. So when people are like, we're not angry enough, we're not creative enough with our anger. When they open up about what they're doing, cannibalism, child rape, child sacrifice, adrenochrome, or whatever the hell, it is up to you, up to your own sovereignty, up to your own agency, each individual person, right? To address, how is it that I feel about this? Most of us skip past it, right? Like, most of us are like, well, and I want to remind you that no answer is an answer, right? It takes minimal effort to watch an ad like that and say, that's fucking disgusting. No one has to hear you. No one has to, know your opinion about it. But for you to have agency and energetically say, fuck no, okay? It's such a powerful move. Because these things, while people are saying like, oh, they're saying that people wanted to be invited. Sure. The reason why all the pedophiles are being exposed is because there's enough pedophiles to, alive and well and, doing their predators and all these different things and all these predator catcher shows and TikTok, accounts and all these different things and, all the things with whatever the fucking Blip Blast or whatever the fucking game is. And it's definitely not the name of it. That block game, not Minecraft, Roblox. I think that's what it, where it's like it's made really for child predators. I am VU or whatever the fuck. We can go into the name of some of these, like, really. But it's really interesting because some of these things, it's to garnish the idea of like, well, how many child predators are really out here? If we were to expose that, hypothetically, the batshit crazy dementia president of the United States has been, enjoys talking about and acting out violence and sexual violence against minors, using power as a threat, as a protection. Those pedophiles would be interested. It's to garner, whatever the fuck. It's to see how many people are really interested. How much outrage is there gonna be for a KFC commercial where we talk about feeding people human meat? The best way to, forgiveness, not permission, What if you were to find out that those McDonald's burgers are actually your aunts and uncles? Whoops, you already did it. Sorry. So they garner the, so what's it look like, It's like polls, surveys. People talk about surveillance and being like a surveillance country. It is. It's just not cameras and pigeons. It's an energetic surveillance. It most definitely is. It's to see who goes online and says, this is fucking crazy, or, who's, sitting there watching an ad and 3 days later there's a receipt on your credit card for 3 boxes of Pringles or Ritz crackers. It all creates a story about you. We know for a fact, right? Like, it's proven that they, take your income information and change prices to fit your, to fit whatever it is that you're able to pay. When you look at all these things, you start to ask yourself why. Is it because they're asking for permission or forgiveness? I think it's both. But I think the important one to focus on is the permission. Because it's something that, one, I can do, right? Like, I can't do anything about what's already been done. There's a lot that can be done, right? But when you talk to specific individuals that aren't politically involved, that aren't, even if it's not politics, like, that aren't really involved. Like, if I know that there's, predators, around my area, and I look at like a sex offender list, and my space is has those people around me, I get a choice of whether or not if you have children, do you look up a sex offender list? Some people just don't want to know. Some people get paranoid. Why? Why is it that you get paranoid? Why are you so deeply impacted? I'm not saying this to shame you. It's important to recognize where your sovereignty lacks. If you feel as a mother of a young child, I need to know that there have been, within the area, within a 10 to 25 block radius, there is at least 5 people that are registered sex offenders who have broken into homes and held people outside with a deadly weapon and have sexually violated them and then, children. That's important for me to know, right? It doesn't make me fear. I'm not walking around with, extra, like a fucking suit of armor. But what I can do is awareness allows the opportunity for choice. Knowing myself, knowing, my faith, right? In myself and in God, right? You believe in what you want to. Some people believe in the power of, metal and flint. You know what I'm saying? Like, you believe what you want to. And with that, can you make a sovereign choice that's not, I'm so scared or whatever it is, but you're like, okay, this is what I don't want to happen. So I know not to walk down, certain blocks around certain times. I know to carry certain protections if I'm walking around late at night. I know to plan my trip ahead and make sure somebody knows where I am. I know what to do, you know, and sometimes it's more or different, but those are like bare bone basics, right? And I feel like every woman has considered those things, right? But point being is that if it was that situation, why are you so unable to even consider the thought of looking at, if you don't want to read the Epstein files, don't. I'm going to be one of those people. Don't. There's plenty of videos where people sum up enough for you to get a gist and to make a decision, right? Awareness does not have to be complete. I promise you protect your mental health at all costs, right? But do it out of sovereignty, not fear. Don't say, oh my God, if I know what, I won't be able to sleep and I'm gonna, no. No. Take a big deep breath. Relax with your shoulders. Ready? You are in control of your body. No matter what you've experienced, what you fear, or what others have made you feel, you are in control of your body. Whether it's right now, tomorrow, yesterday, doesn't matter. As of this moment, as you're sitting here watching, unless you're being violated as you're watching this, which I urge you to get help if that's the case, because hi. But right now, you're in control of your body, right? With that, allow yourself to say, okay, maybe I don't want to deny all of these things. And knowing how we live in a society where everything, there's news articles, TikToks, and this and this and this and that and that. And sometimes you can just get the highlighted version and that be enough. Why? Because then you are aware and you can make a choice. For me, I know that there's elements mentioned within these files of cannibalism, child sacrifice, celebrities, and, that it includes various politicians, various spiritual gurus, which is important to note because this is a spiritual war. You understand what I'm saying? That there's lots of talk about removing will using a variety of drugs. These are all things that I'm aware of now, right? And without it being like, because there are horrible, horrible, horrible people out there, really fucking bad individuals. And I don't ever have to surround myself with them. Do you want to know why? Because I can make the choice today and every time that I'm reminded that I will never be in the presence of anyone that does this, thinks like this, talks like this, approves of this. I'm not ever in that presence. And should you, your neighbor, Molly, Sally, Bill, Bob, Joe, all just make a simple conscious decision when you see that Ritz commercial saying, oh, I'm salty, I wasn't invited to the island, and just have a quick thought, be like, if I was invited to Epstein Island, would I go? Why? Why not? What would I do? Would I participate? Ask yourself, these are important questions, okay? This is what we call shadow work, right? Because if you said, yes, I would go, and yeah, I would, that's important for you to know about yourself. Especially if you're somebody that preaches otherwise. Something like that, which is where I come back to my original point of sovereignty, is important for you to recognize because sometimes that's not your own. Sometimes things like these commercials put these thoughts into your mind and they're like, oh, think about it like this. They're a bunch of teenagers. Energetically, they're teens. They're stuck in their rebel phase, and they have been for years, like pre-slavery years. They are stuck in their like pre-America like years. They are stuck in their rebellious phase. Energetically, they're a bunch of teenagers. You look at the Epstein files, look at their face. They're kids. They're teenagers saying, what if I don't get caught? You should try it. You understand? It's peer pressure. It's weaponizing pride, weaponizing pleasure, weaponizing power, you understand? And all these different things. And it's important for you as the average person to sit there and say, would I have gone? Why not? Da 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 da. Because if you don't, then it comes back. Whatever Palm Beach Pete starts introducing himself, and they're like, hey, I have a yacht. Right. Fuck that. You understand? Like, it's important for you to recognize that. Because a lot of the time, like, let me ask you something. Think of a celebrity. Think of a celebrity that you admire, respect, honor, love, fetishize. Think of that person, right? If they were to stand right in front of you, like right in front of you, do you think you'd be able to contain yourself in the way that you think you would? I remember my first time seeing Queen Latifah at a gas station. Panicked immediately. My grandmother lived, 7 houses down from her mom. She used to walk, or her grandma, maybe her grandma, Queen Latifah's grandma. I don't know, something. There was Queen Latifah's maternal family member. And my grandma used to walk the dog with her. She was like, yeah, we walk the dog together and talk. She's pretty cool. I was like, you walk with me? Just like casually. So when I met her, I was like, I love you. Sorry. I was 14, 15 years old? Point is that we don't know what our reaction will be because we never think about it. How often do you think about being in front of your favorite celebrity? Beyonce showed up to your front door. It's like, hey, you want to hang out? Let's watch a movie together. How would you respond? Honestly. Not how would you like to respond. Not how would your ego respond. Oh yeah, Beyonce, come in. You're cool. How would you literally, Beyonce, she's at the front door. How are you responding? This is important because when it comes to something like Palm Beach Pete inviting you to his yacht, how are you responding? Do you feel salty that you're not, what are they called? A boat girl or whatever the hell? Do you want to know what's going on those yachts? Once you know, what are you willing to do or not do? These are important questions to ask yourself. Especially, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of people that talk about how cannibalism is not new. Like, white people are known for eating their slaves. Up until, the 70s or 80s. Lynched black people would be eaten afterwards. It's not new. How you feel about that, you're not lying to me. You understand? You're only lying to yourself. You really want to change? And I'm not saying do you want to change. You really want a change. You really want your kids to not be the victim of a sex trafficking ring? Ask yourself these questions. Be sovereign in your decisions so that you're not moved. So if Beyonce did show up at your door, you'd be like, hey, and act normal, like yourself. And if yourself is like, you're Beyonce, then be that. The important aspect of it is that you are sovereign. You're not being run by, oh my God, my friends are gonna flip out when they hear that Beyonce showed up at my door. What the fuck do your friends have to do with this situation? I can't wait to post about this. Right. A lot of us are not sovereign, and it's important to recognize why and where our sovereignty lacks. Join me for a session. Or don't, I'm not your mom. But it's important, you understand? Because some of it is apologetic, And some of it is asking for permission, energetic permission. How outraged are you going to be when we put cannibalism ads in your face? This is now what? The third one within a year where they're saying, hey, eat people. No. Fuck. No. I'd rather not. You know what I'm saying? Because those decisions, they can, like, they allow you to be sovereign, but they also allow the truth to be revealed in a way where it is it allows more truth to be revealed. A lot of the times when there isn't as much approval as there needs to be or is like to be, it's like, okay, well, how else can we do this? I mentioned in the beginning that your choice creates blockages, so that they have to move around your outrage. They have to move around a lot of, like, the legal stuff that's been going on is like creating barriers while they try to figure out what it is that they have to do, because then you have to spend time. If I can set you back a day, then I have an extra day, and if I can set you back a week, and the goal is until all are one. So until all are loved, or until all are cannibalistic, child sacrificing demons. I know where I want to be, and it's not eating children. So thankfully, the truth loves to see me coming, and I don't want to be surrounded by people that think about that, agree with that, benefit off that, enjoy hearing about that, get off on that. Like, I'm not surrounded by people like that. So thankfully, I feel confident in the choices that I've made, the people that I've surrounded myself with, and with that, bambooffication, are you happy with what you've created for your life? Because if you're not sovereign, the only person you have to blame is you. You're only lying to yourself. You understand? Because if you were really to say, okay, so what can I really learn about this in a way that doesn't harm me, right? And how can I show up as myself in every opportunity that I have? Every single opportunity, I will show up in the best way that I can for the life that I want to live. Unfortunately, I do want to know. But I want to know just enough for me to make a choice. Because sometimes there are some people that are meant to be exploring all of the depths and nuances and this and this and that. Some people, especially like me, we're not. We're simply meant to be the people that explore what's been explored and say, fuck no. Like walking judges. I'm not judging people. I'm judging myself. I'm saying based on what you've presented to me, the court rules opposed to, the court rules in favor of my sovereignty and opposed to your bullshit, propaganda, whatever it is. It's really interesting. There's something really not wanting me to talk about this. You see, I just felt a really big whoosh. There's something really trying to push me back. I denounce that, deny that. You can leave, please. I understand. I don't want to kill myself. I love my life. Everyone around me also knows this. So, hypothetically, entertainment purposes only, whatever else I have to say. Much love, though. Protect yourself. Be sovereign. It's one of the most powerful things you can do, especially in this world. No matter what your faith is, no matter what your belief is, your simple choice of it's not like, I don't want to hear about that. Why? Why don't you want to hear about that? Do you not want to hear about that in that way? Because once you get to the root of it, I mean, it's really like sometimes even a 2-second thing is like, I don't want to hear about that because it doesn't involve me. Great, then it doesn't involve you. Understand? But it's important to get down to the root of it. Anywho, gotta go cleanse my space because Spirit's trying to push me back. Please. In my own home? Anywho, you can leave me the fuck alone. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.